If you were elected, will you have a legislative agenda that you will pursue during legislative sessions? And if so, what kind of legislation will you pursue? Please be specific as possible.
Absolutely. I think it's critical that the Attorney General take an active role in the legislative process. I intend, after the election, to be in front of the legislature in January with a legislative package. I want to focus, number one, on this prison overcrowding problem. As I mentioned, I could not support Act 570. I think we need to start from a law enforcement perspective to have a comprehensive Criminal Justice Reform Act that, as I said, expands drug courts, focuses on alternative sentencing, and creates more truth in sentencing for violent crimes and sexual predators. So I intend to be in front of the legislature in January with that agenda, number one. Secondly, I've talked to several businesses about limiting outside counsel for the Attorney General's office. I know that's something that maybe that a lot of Arkansans are concerned about. I'd like that to be part of a legislative package as well. And I think having legislative experience will be critical to getting over to the legislature and passing that package of bills out of the legislature at the earliest opportunity. I don't want a moment to go by because the legislature, the 90th General Assembly, will go into session in January and be out in March. And we need an Attorney General absolutely ready on day one to walk over there with the package of bills and get them passed and improve our criminal justice system.
Thank you. Ms. Rutledge.
Throughout this campaign, I've stated that while it's not my intention to have a legislative package, we are not ruling it out. But one thing that I want to make clear is that it's not going to be taking my ideas and putting those ideas and policies instead of the legislators that are elected from every community. I believe the role of the Attorney General is to help the legislators, so that way they write good, clean laws. Too often we see ambiguity in the laws, and this is, while we have 70 attorneys at the Attorney General's office available to review these laws, and that's why Acts 570 need to be cleaned up. So we need to look at cleaning up those criminal laws and cleaning up other areas of statutes that are confusing or ambiguous. So that way our citizens walk away knowing exactly what the law is at all times. And I will use my experience as counsel to Governor Huckabee because that's what one of the roles was to talk to legislators, talk to state agencies, talk to them about the effects of the laws that they were presenting. So that way they could see down the road. Oftentimes, if you're not looking at it in the whole package deal, you're just going to make this one simple fix, then it fixes something, but it breaks 10 other things. So we need an Attorney General that's ready on day one to go over there and make sure that we don't break 10 other things. We need an Attorney General that's solution-oriented and working with our legislators and not against them to fix the laws that are in place and to make sure that they're the way the citizens and the legislators intended them to be.
Mr. Cash.
I don't really plan to have a legislative package, but one thing I might consider looking at is deferred prosecutions for nonviolent immigrants in our communities. As an immigration attorney, I see firsthand how the federal immigration laws tear apart families, especially nonviolent, parents commit some kind of minor offense, and then they're torn away from their families and sent back to their home country. I saw that this week in immigration court. Families get split apart, and you may not agree with complete immigration reform, but I think you could agree that it's better to keep families together, especially when there are U.S. citizen children involved.
Thank you. Mr. Steele, anything to add?
I do. I strongly believe that doing nothing is not an option when it comes to the crime problems we've got in the state, and there are real crime problems we've got in the state. We have the second highest methamphetamine problem in the country. We've got major problems that are affecting our children and seniors and others, and I think doing nothing is just not an option. So I will be in front of the legislature on day one to fix the parole crisis that we've got, to expand the cyber crimes unit, and to continue fighting on behalf of farmers who have major copper theft problems. There are all kinds of major issues facing the state that we need an Attorney General ready on day one to go after.
All right. Ms. Rutledge.
And I could not agree more that doing nothing is not an option. There's only one person on this stage that voted present on very important bills that are crucial to the values of Arkansans. So I agree, doing nothing is not an option. Arkansas needs an Attorney General ready to lead. Voting present is not an option when you're the Attorney General.
Mr. Cash.